It's 6:30 in the morning, February 2nd, 2026. You're 70 years old. You've been living in America for 15 years on a green card. You grab your car keys to drive to your doctor's appointment, the same route you've taken 100 times. But today, your phone buzzes. It's a message in your family WhatsApp group. Your cousin forwarded something that makes your heart drop. Urgent alert. All seniors 65 and over banned from driving. Starting February 1st, 2026. New federal law. Check your license now. You look at your license. You look at the date, February 2nd. Does this mean you're driving illegally right now? If you get pulled over, will the police arrest you? Will immigration get involved? Will this affect your green card? Your mind is racing. Your hands are shaking. You don't know what to do. Stop. Breathe. Because in the next few minutes, I'm going to save you from making a catastrophic mistake based on a lie that's spreading through our community like poison. There's a massive rumor going viral right now, and it's causing unnecessary panic among immigrant seniors all across America. But here's what nobody tells you when they forward these messages. This rumor is based on news from a completely different country, mixed with real American deadlines, twisted by fear, and then weaponized by people who profit from clicks and panic. And here's what's also true. While the February driving ban is fake, there are real changes happening that you absolutely must understand. Changes to real ID requirements, changes to state DMV rules for seniors, changes in how renewals and vision tests work in certain states, and changes in car technology. And if you don't know exactly what's real and what's fake, you could lose your license, miss your flight to see your family, or worse, end up in a situation with law enforcement that becomes bigger than it needed to be. A lot of people are asking the same question right now. Is the government really taking away our right to drive? And I need to tell you something very clearly. This panic is exactly what happens when our community doesn't have access to verified information in simple language. So today, I'm going to break down every piece of this puzzle. Where the rumor came from, what's actually changing in 2026, which parts depend on your state, what real ID really means, and what you should do right now to protect yourself and your family. If you're over 65, if your parents are over 65, or if you know any senior immigrant drivers, don't skip this, because the rules that matter are not the ones in a WhatsApp forward. The rules that matter are the ones on official government websites. Let's kill the rumor first, clearly and completely. There is no federal law in the United States that bans seniors from driving in February 2026. None. Zero. It does not exist. The US Department of Transportation does not have the power to cancel your driver's license just because you turned 65. Driver's license rules are controlled by states through state DMVs. California makes rules for California. Texas makes rules for Texas. New York makes rules for New York. So where did this rumor come from? This is a classic case of wrong country, wrong news. A lot of the viral messages spreading through WhatsApp, Facebook, and TikTok are actually connected to discussions and headlines from the United Kingdom, where there have been public conversations about medical assessments and renewal periods for older drivers. That is UK news. British rules, not American rules. But someone took that kind of headline, removed the word United Kingdom, added USA, changed the age, picked a scary date, and sent it out. And the internet did what the internet does. It spread like wildfire. No fact-checking, no verification, just panic. Now here's the important part. Just because the federal ban is fake does not mean you should relax completely, because what is real is this. Many states do have special renewal rules for senior drivers. Those rules are not new in some places, but enforcement and procedures can feel stricter, especially around vision screening and in-person renewals. And if you don't know your state's rules, you could walk into the DMV expecting a simple renewal and walk out with delays, extra requirements, or temporary restrictions until you provide medical or vision documentation. Let's talk about what this looks like in the real world, using examples people ask about most often. In Illinois, there's actually good news. Illinois used to have some of the strictest senior driving renewal rules. Many seniors had to take frequent road tests as they aged, which created stress even for healthy drivers. Illinois passed updates that raised the age for mandatory behind-the-wheel road tests. The practical impact is that many seniors in Illinois now face less automatic road testing than before, unless there's a specific safety or medical reason to require it. So for Illinois seniors, the rules became more reasonable, not more extreme. In California, where many immigrant seniors live, there has long been a major rule. Older drivers often must renew in person, not by mail. That is not new. But what trips people up is vision screening. If you show up to renew and you haven't had an eye exam in years, you can fail the DMV vision screening. If you fail, the DMV may tell you they can't complete your renewal until you bring documentation from an eye doctor or complete additional steps. And that's how people lose weeks of independence. Not because they're banned, but because they didn't prepare. Here's the simple, practical solution. Before your DMV appointment, get a real eye exam. Update your glasses if needed. Ask your eye doctor for documentation if your state DMV accepts it. Don't let a surprise vision test at the DMV derail you. California and some other states also offer educational options, sometimes online, for certain renewals or knowledge refreshers. If your state offers a senior safe driving course or renewal education program, it can help make the process smoother, and it may even help with insurance discounts. In Texas, the system works differently. Texas doesn't generally operate with the same kind of strict age-based renewal rules as California. But Texas is serious about safety reporting in certain medical situations. In some cases, a doctor's documentation and DMV medical review can affect whether someone must do additional evaluations. The point is not to hide health issues. The point is to understand that in some states, medical conditions can trigger a DMV review process. If you're dealing with serious medical changes, plan ahead, talk to your family, and ask your doctor what documentation may be needed. In New York, older drivers can face more frequent vision testing requirements compared to younger drivers, and the DMV can require medical paperwork if there is a concern about driving ability. In Florida, one of the biggest retirement states, drivers over a certain age may need a vision test at every renewal and may have to renew in person once they cross a certain age threshold. Here is the key lesson. Every state is different. There is no one-size-fits-all answer, so don't rely on viral messages. Your best source is your state DMV's official website. Now let's talk about the real deadline that actually can stop you from traveling. And it's not a fake February ban, it's Real ID. The Real ID rules matter because they affect what identification you can use for federal purposes, especially flying domestically. Under the Real ID Act, to board a domestic flight using a state driver's license or state ID, that license generally must be Real ID compliant, often marked with a star in the corner. If your license does not have the required Real ID marking, you may be required to use another acceptable form of ID, such as a valid passport, to fly domestically. And here's where seniors get caught. Many seniors don't carry passports. Many passports are expired because they weren't planning international travel. People think, I'm only flying inside the US to see my children. I don't need a passport. Then they show up at the airport with a non-compliant ID and it becomes a crisis. For immigrants, green card holders, and visa holders, Real ID can be even more complicated because getting Real ID usually requires proof of lawful status and supporting documents. And states are strict about matching names and identity information across documents. This is where people run into problems like, your green card is valid, but your social security record shows an older name spelling. Your proof of address doesn't match. Your documents don't align perfectly. And when they don't align, the DMV may refuse to issue the Real ID until it's corrected. That can turn into weeks of waiting and multiple trips between the DMV and the Social Security Office. So here is the urgent advice. In plain language, if you have not upgraded to a Real ID yet, do it now, before you need to travel, before there is pressure, and before your license expires. Pull out your license and look at it carefully. If you don't see the Real ID marking, go to your state DMV website and check exactly what documents are required in your state. In general, be prepared to bring your unexpired green card if you're a permanent resident, or your valid visa and I-94 if you're a visitor or non-immigrant. Your social security card or acceptable proof of SSN depending on your state rules. 2 proofs of address like utility bills or bank statements. A passport or birth certificate depending on what your state requires for identity proof. Do not show up unprepared. That's what creates the nightmare situation. Also, do not wait until your license is about to expire. DMV appointments can be hard to get. If your license expires and you keep driving, you're creating a legal risk that can lead to tickets. And for immigrants, unnecessary law enforcement contact is the last thing you want. Now, let's talk about something else, changing the experience of driving in 2026, new car technology. New vehicles increasingly come with advanced driver assistance features, automatic emergency braking, lane departure warnings, blind spot monitoring, cameras, alerts, screens, and features that can feel too smart if you're not used to them. For seniors, this is a double-edged sword. On one hand, it can save lives. If reaction time is slower, the car can warn you or even brake in certain situations. On the other hand, it can be confusing and overwhelming if you don't understand what the car is doing. Seniors have told stories of being startled when the steering wheel nudges, when alarms beep, or when the car brakes unexpectedly. So if you're planning to buy a new car in 2026, here's the best advice. Don't just drive off the lot and hope for the best. Ask the dealership for a full tutorial. Sit in the car and learn what each feature does. Take a long test drive. Watch videos about your exact car model. Learn how to adjust settings safely. The rules of the road may be the same, but the rules of the car are not. Now let's address the immigration angle, because for immigrants this is bigger than just driving. Your driver's license is not only permission to drive. For many immigrants, it's your primary ID. You use it to open bank accounts, prove your address, get hired, rent apartments, pass through TSA checkpoints, and it's commonly used as supporting identification in immigration processes. When you apply for citizenship, you're often asked to present identity documents. Many people present their green card and their driver's license. If your license is expired, it creates stress, questions, and unnecessary complications. Here's a trap that happens all the time. A person stops driving as much and thinks, I'll renew my license later. Months go by. Then an important appointment comes up, an immigration interview, a travel need, a banking issue, and suddenly the expired license becomes a problem. And then the DMV appointment delays make everything worse. And there's another risk. Driving on an expired license is illegal. If you get pulled over for something minor, that traffic stop can become a bigger situation than it needs to be. The goal is simple. Don't create avoidable problems. Keep your license current. Keep your identification current. Keep your documents consistent. Now, let's turn all of this into a clear action plan you can follow today. First, pull out your driver's license and check the expiration date. If it expires within the next 6 months, make a DMV appointment now. Second, check for Real ID compliance. If your license does not have the required Real ID marking, make that upgrade a priority. Gather your documents first, then go. Third, if you're over 65, schedule an eye exam before your DMV renewal. Don't let the DMV vision test be the first time you discover you need stronger glasses. Fourth, go to your State DMV website and search for Senior Driver Renewal Rules. Look for requirements about in-person renewal, vision tests, written tests, road tests, and medical review. Fifth, consider taking a mature driver course. Organizations like AARP offer driver safety programs, and in many states, completing a course can reduce insurance costs while refreshing your skills. Sixth, talk to your family and stop the panic cycle. Don't forward rumors, verify before you share. A fake message can cause real harm. People cancel appointments, stop driving unnecessarily, or make rushed decisions out of fear. Seventh, if you feel unsure about your health and driving, talk to your doctor and your family early. It's better to plan for safe alternatives than to wait for an accident or a sudden license review. And if driving becomes unsafe, your life does not end. There are alternatives, senior transport services, rideshare, community shuttles, family scheduling, and local programs. The key is planning so you keep your independence as much as possible. Now, some of you might be thinking, I'm scared to go to the DMV because I'm afraid I'll fail and lose my license. That fear is real. Driving represents independence. But it's better to know the truth now than to find out after something goes wrong on the road. And for most people watching this, you will be fine, especially if you prepare. Let's also talk about the money side. Yes, real ID upgrades, renewals, eye exams, and courses can cost money. But the cost of losing your license is often much higher. Missed work, missed medical appointments, isolation, and travel disruptions. Also, many communities have support. Some senior centres help with transportation. Some DMVs have language assistance. Some non-profits help immigrants understand what documents are required. Ask your community. Use local resources. You do not have to handle everything alone. This is exactly why Immigration Bulletin Hub SHIA exists, to cut through rumors, give you verified information, and help you protect your life in the US from panic-driven mistakes. And here's where to get accurate information straight from the source. For driver's license rules, your State DMV official website. For real ID rules and acceptable IDs for flying, TSA's official Real ID page at tsa.gov/realedt. For immigration forms and official updates, assissis.givs. These are official sources. They're free. They're updated regularly. Don't trust random websites. Don't trust viral posts. Don't trust a friend of a friend messages. It's okay to be confused. These systems are complicated. But what you can control is this. Verify information, prepare early, keep your documents current, and ask for help when you need it. Let me end with the truth in one sentence. The US government is not banning seniors from driving in February 2026. That is fake. But you do need to stay on top of your license renewals, understand your state's senior driver rules, and upgrade to Real ID if you haven't already, because those are real deadlines with real consequences. If this video gave you clarity and stopped you from panicking, do one thing that helps protect the whole community. Share it with your family group chats, your parents, your grandparents, and your community pages. And subscribe to Immigration Bulletin Hub and turn on notifications, because every week we break down the real rules, the real deadlines, and the real steps that keep you safe, legal, and confident in America. Stay informed, stay prepared, and don't let fear control your decisions. Verify first, then act. General information only, not legal advice. For your specific situation, check your state DMV rules and consult qualified professionals if needed.